Chapter 5 An Important Visitors. Uh, Dr. Travis didn't want Merrick to live by himself like a man in lighthouse. Merrick read his books and talked to him. But Dr. Travis wanted him to talk to more people, talk to women. Merrick about women reads book about Merrick read about women in his books, but no often talked to women. One day, doctor's friends, a beautiful young woman, came to the hospital, and he talked to her about Merrick, and he took her to his room. She opened the door and smiled at him. "Good morning, Mr. Merrick," she said, and she shook his hand. Merrick was surprised, and he cried. He cried for nearly 5 minutes, and she sat on the bed beside him and put her hand on his arm. She said nothing, and she smiled at him, and she shook his hand again. Then she left. Merrick not understood. Merrick understood. At the night, Merrick said. Merrick said to Travis, "Dr. Travis, this lady was wonderful. My mother smiled at me many years ago, but no woman smiled at me now. But this woman smiled at me and shook my hand." Said. He was very, very happy. Then this lady, this beautiful young woman, came to the hospital again next week. Next week, and I talked to Merrick about for half an hour. Then after a week, she came again with friends, and they smiled at him and shook his hand and gave him some books. At first time, Merrick had many friends. People began about Merrick in the newspapers, and Merrick had a lot of visitors. Everyone wanted to see him. A lot more important ladies and gentlemen visited him. They smiled at him and shook his hand, then gave him some books. Merrick was talked to these people, and he began to forget about his ugly body. He was happy. and his visitors never laughing at him. Never laughed at him. Um, he began to felt like a man, not like a creature. One wonderful day, the more important lady came to the hospital to visit him. Merrick and Dr. Travis was surprised. She said, "Good morning, Mr. Merrick. I often read about you in the newspapers. You are a very interesting man, Mr. Merrick. You have a difficult life, but but people say you are happy. Is it true? Are you happy now?" Um, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, my queen, Your Majesty, said Merrick. "I am happy now. I had a home here. And friends and many books. I am happy every hour of the day," he said. Then she asked him talk to his about reading. Then for nearly half an hour they talked about books. Then the queen gave him a little book and some red flowers. Then she left. Merrick was happy, and he had he had many visitors from the queens, and at Christmas she sent him a Christmas card.